In this tutorial, we will use a region domain effect called RHOLE. R for region and HOLE for hole or pit. Let me show you an example of one. Here we have a hole in the middle of our floor. Now there's many ways to create this kind of effect in your game, in your orb. This happens to be by far the easiest approach. So we have a hole and we have a surrounding area. Let's see what that looks like in the editor. Alt E. Here we have the editor. It has two domains. Here's the hole that goes from -128 to 0, and then here's the rest of the domain, and it goes from 0 to 512. Let's create this from scratch so that you can see the steps to how to bring this about, and I'll also show you a couple of things that can go wrong. So let's start by getting rid of our existing hole. Alright, so let's save this, load it, and here we have a plain, simple, tall room. Alright, let's make a hole. So we go into the editor, we're on the domain section, so let's click add. We want the top of our hole to be at a height of 0, and we want the bottom of our hole to be at -128. So we'll have a hole that is 128 in depth. We've clicked add, we've made the hole. Now let's put it in the middle of the room. Remember, we have to point the front of our wall to that new domain. And let's remember to make this an R hole. But before we do that, let's take a look at what happens when we don't remember. It's just like nothing's there. So let's go back into the editor, make this an R hole as it should be, save. Now we have a hole. Pretty simple. Let me show you one minor enhancement to this. We'll go into the editor. First of all, take a look at this view. Now let's see what it looks like after I make one minor change. This has a lighting of -6. I'm going to make it a lighting of -7. And this one right here, -7 as well. Save, load, and view. Since the walls have slightly different lighting characteristics, it helps the eye discern the fact that they are not one thing, that there's actually separate walls there. A nice little gimmick. We can do something similar with the floor if we wish, but I think this gets the idea across. So there we have a very easy to make hole. All we did was create a domain, give it an R hole for effect, and there we had it. Couldn't be much simpler. Next tutorial, we will explore an extension of this, which is slightly more demanding, but gives a very fun effect. So we'll do that right away.